Yeah, go. Right, alright. So we can start at the start here with Luke Smith's kind of chat about
farewell.
Yeah, farewell. I suppose you could take it as a farewell in some respects, because he's saying farewell to Bungie in a very respectful way. I quite like that.
Yeah.
Oh, might help if I just took it off the loading screen.
Oh, yeah.
I put it on stream starting soon and carried on talking.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good start. So yeah, I mean, Luke Smith broke it down into 3 parts, didn't he? Really, he said his little piece about Activision, which was actually really respectful.
Yeah. Well, the thing is though, we don't know why they properly split. So, and everyone was giving a lot of flack to Bungie.
Not even Bungie, to Activision,
saying,
yeah.
Hooray! Yeah, it's saying like, hooray, you got rid of them. Hooray! Bungie could have been mean and just gone, yeah, we've got rid of them. We got rid of the big bad guys. But they haven't. They've been respectful to a company that has helped them throughout the years.
I mean, you've got to think Activision's been there from the very, very start. I mean, Activision's been there from launch of Destiny 1, and it wouldn't be... Destiny wouldn't have gone as far as it probably did without Activision support in the first place. No one knows what was the inside scoop behind all this anyway, so it's... I think, it could have been a bit of a mixture between different things.
End of contracts.
Contract was 10 years with from what I've heard, and then a loophole of being able to break the contract after 8 years, and we're at the 8-year point. So, exotic, nice. But so yeah, we're at the end of at the clause where they could escape their contract, should we say? Might be one of the better ways of saying it. But I thought what Luke Smith said to come out and say what he did after a lot of
that's 4. Nice.
A lot of stuff was said. I think that was quite nice of them to turn around and say what they did about Activision, and also dropped a little bit of a hint about the DLC of being redacted, where VV, Vicarious Visions, is working on something still currently for the current annual pass, which is interesting. So
that's what I actually liked reading. We've immediately gone, well, we've addressed what's gone on with the Forge. We understood that it was way too high of a power jump for people to try and
the fact that
start at the beginning.
Exactly, but the fact that they're voicing that as well, to say, yeah, we messed up, we fucked up here, we fucked up with the Forge, and we've heard what you're saying, and we need to take that into consideration going through the next DLCs. And going, right, okay, we're not going to do that, and they're going to have a serious conversation about it. The fact they're saying it, saying it and doing it is 2 different things, but they have been better at saying and doing.
Yep.
So yeah.
It's like where was it there? It wasn't what they said there. We set the power requirement for the first Forge too high, and that meant it wasn't a great chance to jump into the new content. Now with that one, that's obviously true. It took people about 4 to 5 days of consistent grinding.
Exactly.
To even attempt. Now that's people who are dedicated. For people who can't play the game consistently, it would take them about 2 weeks to open a first Forge. Take for instance someone we know. He's only just got into the Forge because he's more of a solo player, which again shows how hard it was to solos. Now another thing what he brought up is how they're saying they are committed to Destiny and the future they've created.
But they also turned around and said how much they are committed to the roadmap that is set in stone. So through Drifters Wild, I would say Black Armory, but Black Armory we're pretty much at the end now, so we're going to be jumping. We're finished as of, well, it's soon to be finished, because obviously we've got the exotic quest coming up very soon for I think it's Last Word off the top of my head, and then we jump straight into the Crimson Days. So obviously Black Armory, with now that the 4 Forges unlocked, we're completely at the end of of Black Armory. So Black Armory doesn't really count at this point anymore in some respects. So going into the Drifter and Penumbrum, or Redacted, the season of the Redacted is what they're now calling it, isn't it? I mean, how funny would it be if they actually just said, well, we're going to keep it as season of Redacted just for the shits and giggles? I mean, that would be quite funny as it is.
Hey Tom, is there any way you could turn your gain up? Because I can't hear you, like, over anything. Like, not over the game, not over Ben, not over my own pulse.
What's that on stream? Or...
Yeah, well, no, just in my headset. I can't hear you at all. Like, your voice is so low.
It could be because I'm slightly whispering as well, so...
I can hear you. I mean, if you just up your mic volume, I guess it will help a bit more.
Yeah, hang on. Chat audio. Just trying to get my sense. How's that? Is that better?
A little better.
A little better. It could actually be a bit higher.
Yeah.
All right, what about now?
A little louder. I mean, you're pretty soft spoken, so
I think it's because I'm trying to keep my voice down a little bit. So.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you just up your mic volume in general, how it picks up, with your voice being that low, it should just sort itself out.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Hang on. Sound. Just audio. Bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, why has it gone back down? Alright, is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
No, that's better.
I can hear you properly.
That's better.
Okay. Right, is that better, Pete?
Yes. Yes, it is better.
Good.
Thank you.
Happy days. So where were we? We were talking about. Oh yeah. So obviously, Bungie have turned around and we're going to keep on with the roadmaps that are currently set for us, which is good. I think the fact that they turn around and say, yeah, the commitment, and they're going to say, well, we need to do something completely different. So when you go into day one of the next DLCs, you've actually got something to play, and not have to grind straight away and go, right, I need to be at this level cap. So that, going forward on Bungie's behalf, that is, it's a good start. Like I say, this is all in theory, because obviously it's all being talked.
Yeah,
it's hearsay currently. So until we kind of get complete feedback back from, until we start seeing it, because obviously now Bungie can't hide in the shadows, as it were, to say, yeah, this is, people to turn around. I think not some Bungie, I think more of the community to go, yeah, well, that was Activision's fault, not Bungie's fault, So I think on that respect...
Well, that's what happened with the breakup. It was, oh yeah, now they finally got rid of this company, they can sort themselves out. It's like, how do you know it was the company that was messing them up?
Oh, exactly. You just don't know. And all that.
One thing I do like, though, which is a pretty cryptic way of saying goodbye, is not everything has been lost to the darkness of time. Now that sounds like they might be bringing some old Destiny 1 stuff back.
I think...
I heard that they were planning some sort of... You know how you always hear about the light, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it's going to be on this iteration of it, or if it's going to be in Destiny 3, but they were thinking about implementing some sort of darkness play, where you could use the darkness to imbue your character instead of the light, which I think would be super interesting to see.
I will go pure evil just for the sake of being evil.
But that brings you to the whole fact that you've got...
I don't know if it's necessarily evil, but just another
iteration
entity to upgrade yourself, I guess.
I suppose it's a bit like did anyone play KOTOR? Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
I played that to the extreme. I own 2 copies of it.
I mean, it's basically that iteration. You start the game as a neutral character, and then you go off and you either choose the light or you choose the dark. And that's, in some respects, when they turn round about it, this is all hearsay, because that's the same. The iteration into Destiny 3 is, obviously this was come from Anna Number 9, when he leaked to say, yeah, you're going to have the light and the darkness, you're going to have your evil, sort of your dark guardians, and you're going to have guardians of light. I mean, in theory, it sounds pretty cool. I don't know how it's going to work.
It's the execution that we're going to need, because if we do have light and dark, does that mean there's going to be 2 new hub worlds? One for the Guardians who've chosen the light, and one for the Guardians who've chosen the dark.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh boy.
But the thing is, you could say, if you could choose a character, you could be choosing a character basically saying, right, my main character, my Titan, I'm going to keep as a Guardian of the Light. But then I could turn around and go, my Warlock, I'm going to make him a Guardian of the Dark. You've got multiple characters, so does that mean you can, on your multiple characters, you can change iterations between the two different types, or are we going to be able to say, right? It's hard to say, because Destiny 3, I believe, it was meant to be next year, well, roughly around next year that it was meant to be coming out, in theory. I think now that they got the Activision split and Bungie is now in charge of their own destiny, I believe, and this is only my personal thoughts, is Destiny 3 is going to be pushed back. It's going to be pushed back to at least 2021 or something else. I don't think it's going to be right around the corner is what we get. And do you know what? If they turn around and say, we want to get this right, I want them to take the time. I don't want them to take the piss, but I want them to take the time to get it right, make it a game that everyone wants to be able to, to play and have fun with. And that's the part that, on that side of things, I want Bungie to actually commit to it and say, right, we're going to take more time, but prove to us to say, right, okay, yeah, we're going to take more time into this and actually make a solid game. And does that mean that next game is going to be the last iteration? We're going to get Destiny 4, or are we just going to stick with Destiny 3 and just get expansions and get large annual expansions like Forsaken and the Taken Kings of Destiny 1 and Forsaken for Destiny 2, and just get that in D3.
That's 4. I got them all.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's good that they're going to carry on with the roadmap. I'm looking forward to because the roadmap ends in September. So what do you guys think is going to happen once we get to the end and we get past Penumbrum and we get in September? Do you reckon we're going to just get another annual pass like we're seeing, or do you believe we're going to get a large DLC expansion update like Forsaken followed by an annual pass?
Conceptually, I like the idea of the annual pass, but conceptually I like it because having something to do more spaced out means that you're not just digging in and devouring all the content. Like, you could sit down and do Curse of Osiris, everything with Curse of Osiris short of the legacy weapons in 45 minutes, and that was like ridiculous. So with this Black Armory, I like the idea of it being spaced out, but when you drop the new content, being able to access it right away is what drew me to the idea of it, and not having to put 2 or 3 weeks into accessing it. And they addressed that when they were speaking of it and said, we really didn't think that was a good idea to do that. So now that they have this information, now that they've set the precedence where they're listening, I would be inclined to say that I'm excited for the next annual pass, if that's the direction they go. I don't want just a bunch of content drop to just chew through and then be bored.
No, I completely agree with that. I mean, I think they've learned so much from Black Armory. Okay, Black Armory is a good, solid thing, but obviously there's issues with Black Armory, and I have my issues, and I voiced them in last week's episode of the show, and I still stand by them. I still find that there is issues with it, and I'm enjoying it. By all means, I'm enjoying the Black Armory expansion. But also remember, this is the first time Bungie's done anything like this. So the fact that it's trial and error currently, and if and they turn around saying, yeah, we made some mistakes. They opened up and put their hands up and said, yeah, we made some mistakes here. And they've gone around and said, right, okay, we're going to do something different next time, and that's just going to be, we'll learn from it. And, if they learn from it and start implementing and doing things because they've made mistakes, fair play. Well done. You're going to make the game better by making mistakes. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. No.
They took a gamble.
They did.
It didn't work, and they learned from it.
Yeah, exactly. And, a part of that gamble as well was Niobe Labs. Right. The concept behind Niobe Labs is brilliant. It is fantastic. And if they'd done Niobe Labs, like the Whisper of the Worm secret challenge, no one would have given like a monkeys that it's taken 30 hours. The reason people gave a monkeys by it is because it was locking people out of content that Bungie had said this is what's coming. If Bungie hadn't ever told anyone that there was a fourth forge, and you just stumbled across this, they didn't really say much about Niobe Labs or what it was, or even put it in the roadmap, and then all of a sudden someone just discovered Niobe Labs, and then they spent 30-40 hours trying to crack Niobe Labs, and then all of a sudden this fourth forge appeared, but no one knew about it prior to it. I don't think not many people would, the community wouldn't have gone off on one as much if it hadn't been reported about it, sort of thing. If you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's better to have the surprise than to tell the surprise straight away.
Yeah, so if it was more of a surprise and no one knew about it, I think it would have gone off better. Or if you didn't time gate something behind it, and you just said, yeah, there's a full forge, but we've also got Niobe Labs, crack its secrets to find out what you can get. And if there was like, I don't know, some really cool weapon, it might have stopped Pete getting three or four of them in one day, if it had that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
So I mean, the thing is, I think they've learned from it as well, and it's going to be fun to see how they evolve off it.
Well, I'm actually pretty impressed the speed with which they addressed almost all of the issues, like the disappearing frames, the inability to get the radiant frames, how it's treated with the postmaster. Like, I know that's stuff that they probably could have handled on the front end as far as QA went. They were really seeing how it panned out, and they said, "Oh, this is bad," and then they fixed it. I mean, they were back to work, and then they fixed it.
Exactly, they knew it.
That's a good thing.
I know, it is a good thing, and I applaud them for that. And I think the fact that they've communicated it as well, and they've done a fantastic job at the end of the day. You can't. I mean, it's not us now just turning around and changing the leaf and saying everything's bigged up for Bungie, but they have done well on it. They've come back in the last 2 weeks and said we've got a big patch update coming on. I think it's the 29th? Or was it the 22nd?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe it's the 29th.
So we've got this big patch coming, and which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the stream, about obviously the weapons that are going to get buffed and debuffed, and for better, for worse, and for whatnot. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But they are answering the questions that people are asking. You can't say much more than that, really.
No. One thing which I am liking, and it's just in my own personal, I guess you could call it preference, is how everyone's gone, okay, let's see where Bungie goes from this. So they are giving them the chance. And the reason I'm liking that one is because they could have just gone, no, you're done. Like, you've messed up too many times. You can't hide from Activision. You can't hide from us. You can't blame someone else for your mistakes. Now, with everyone going, okay, let's see where this goes, Bungie has a really good chance to shine here. Like, even without Activision, yeah, people will go, oh, so it's Activision's fault. Like, they could say that.
Yeah.
But what I would like them to do is show what they're saying on paper. Like, we want to prove that we care about Destiny. Like, that's what I'm waiting for. And the fact that most of the community's gone, we can't wait to see what you do, is really what I'm liking right now. Because I've seen it with other companies where they go, we're sorry about this, and it's like, no, we're done, go away.
Yeah, that's faith in the brand. That's really what you want.
Yeah.
They say, yeah, all right, I acknowledge the things that you did. I'm glad you did the things. Here's more of my subscription money.
Yeah, exactly. Now, going back on to like user scene, I've just lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Fair enough.
I let one of you take over.
About Black Armory, how they address the issues.
There we go. Immediately, Jolton got me. I've got me train of thought back. What they could have done with the Monarch, with Izanamis Verdin and Jotun is something really, really amazing there. When they do that 29th update, they could have Ada go, I see you found the weapon, the old master's weapons. and then they could give out 3 different exotic quests. Now, they could just be for catalysts, and instead of people going, oh well, I've got no more content, there's something brand new for 3 different things. So that will give people more incentive to jump back in to try and get the guns, because it's not like they're locked behind anything, they're just RNG based while doing the forge. So you don't have to go through, you know, a million hoops to maybe get this one gun in this one area for this one thing. It's like, no, just jump to here, do this one thing, and you could get the gun. That's all you have to do. And if you don't get it, you know, good luck next time. But with the drop rates how they are, it seems like everyone would get it if they just put the time in. And if they do like an exotic quest for catalysts, I think people would really respond well to it. As a way of saying, hey look, they've continued Black Armory instead of just letting it drop off the face of the earth.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at Curse of Osiris. In fact, no, not Curse of Osiris. Look at Warmind, for instance. Because you've got you've got the entire campaign. You go through it. I went through it in about an hour and a half with a new character.
Yeah.
Because I knew where I was going. And then all you've got left for Warmind is a scavenger hunt. Find the 45 items. Sure.
Just do that.
I can do that. Next bit, find all 40 of the singing, whatever you want to call them, singing caches. But good luck, because they're RNG based. And most people don't want to do that. It's like, oh no, I can't get this one gun because it's RNG. I'm not doing it.
I haven't. I couldn't be asked. That is way too much of my time.
Now I'm trying to do it personally because I like collecting everything, but I had 40 of those tokens, so I had 11 chances to find new things, and I got 4, so 6 of them were repeats, and that upset me. It's like, well, what's the point of me even trying to continue it? Now with the Forge, if they continue it by releasing bits and pieces, because the story of the Forge, from what I've seen, from what little bits I've read, is someone stole the pages of the Forge. Now they could release that in small updates. I've gotten word here on Nessus that there's something to do with the Forge. I've gotten word on EDZ there's something to do with the Forge. It'll give you a reason to go back there consistently.
Well, more of the lore stories that are surrounding the Forge is part of this next update. They're increasing the drop rate for these story parts of the pages, you know, the entries and stuff like that. So it's going from a 10% drop rate to a 20% rate when you do the Forges, which is, you know, that's good if you know you're collecting all these triumphs and stuff like that, and you want to know more about the lore behind it, so it's not going to be locked away over a massive grind. You know, you got more of a chance. I mean, yesterday when we were doing the Forges, I think I got 4 entries yesterday just by doing like every time we did one, I ended up getting a new entry.
Yeah.
Goddamn effort. But
what I was going to say, it's not that bit which I'm actually referring to when it comes to the lore. I'm on about Ada herself, because she said someone stole pages from the armory, and it's like, who? It's like, we don't know. It's like, what does that mean? It's like, and then when we got to the 4th Forge, it's like, okay, 4th Forge, last one, locked behind all this. Let's go. Let's find the guy who stole a book, and it's a tank.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right. I
just felt defeated. It's like, where's the guy who stole the book? Where's the guy who Ada's been going on about? Now, I'm a bit annoyed at that. I'm a bit peeved. But as I said before, if they release, like, I guess you could call them droplets of DLC every now and again, just siphoning it through slowly, like, I've gotten word here, I've gotten word there. And then by the end of it, you do find more pages, you do find more frames for newer weapons. That could end up being a lot more fun, and it will keep people consistently going back to the DLC instead of going, oh well, I'm done. I've got what I needed. I got my guns. I got my this. I got my that. It'll instead change it to, hey, I heard the man who stole the pages, he's left clues in this area. Like, they could make it a huge scavenger hunt. Not as bad as actually opening the Forge, but something around that. So that way people will want to find the guy, because it's just like, honestly for me, it's just someone stole a book. Okay, cool. Why does that affect me?
Well, currently, this brings me on to my little point as well, that, it comes off the back of what you were saying there, where it would be, right, we're going to the end of Black Armory, alright? It's good. They've built this really good concept, this really good idea, and, what people I'm worried about, and what other people are probably worried about is right, you've got this, a bit like say, the Haunted Forest. We hardly ever use that unless you go in through a strike, because it was there for Curse of Osiris missions, but you don't have much more use for it apart from obviously the Halloween event recently. I'm hoping, going forward, you might have some quest steps where you go, right, to get this weapon you have to go and do said things in the Forge, and utilise what they've built and created and actually have it going forward in other DLCs as well.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to use it. I'm hoping to use what they've created and spent a long time creating. So it can't be easy for them to create all this stuff all over the place, and for them just to use it for one DLC that spans over a season, it's a bit ridiculous in some ways. And I'm hoping that they can just use what they've created here instead of having to always create new. It's nice to have new, but also use some of the good stuff that you've got and don't let it just go stagnant, sort of thing.
Yeah, because honestly speaking, when was the last time one of you went to Mercury to actually go to Mercury?
Mate, when it's the Flashpoint, I avoid Mercury. I don't care about Flashpoint that week. I don't do it.
So in other words, never.
Unless it's a strike, unless it's the night, even if it's the nightfall.
That people can't be bothered.
Even if it's the nightfall, I tend not to do it. I find it boring. It's like if you do nightfall, you have one public event to do, which spawns probably once every 20-30 minutes.
Oh, they've updated that, they've lowered the times, but even then, it's just waiting on the planet. There's nothing to do there.
There isn't. There's nothing there. And there's no rewards incentive to it, even if you hang around and do all the, lost sectors and whatnot, there isn't anything there to do. I mean,
all the lost sectors, I'm pretty sure there's only one.
And you take Titan, for example.
Yeah, there's only one.
Is there?
Yeah, see? One lost sector.
But even if you look at like Titan's probably slightly smaller than Mercury.
Mars.
And I'm thinking more Mercury, but there's...
No, it's Mercury.
Yeah. There's more to do on Titan than there is to do on the whole of Mercury.
Yeah. Titan's got intricate design. You go one way to go another, you could end up in quite a few different areas just by walking about.
Invader's up in steps, he's running around with a friggin' shotgun like an asshole.
Fair enough. But yeah, so I hope they use what they've got and what they've created.
Well, that was late.
Alright.
He's dead.
Anyone?
My super, I chucked it down when he died.
Oh. I thought you meant my super.
So, anyone else got anything else on them sort of comments, or should we go through more of the TWAP?
I suppose the final bit to it is, well, I haven't seen it personally, and I've not seen it in any news, but it's how Activision's staying away from speaking out about, everyone saying everything, because they could have easily gone, oh, we get that, we don't like you, or this could have that, but sometimes the best way to, I guess, defend yourself is just not speak.
Exactly.
Because, look what's happened. It's been, about 2 weeks since their split, and no one's gone, oh yeah, good for you, Bungie, you've still got rid of Activision. It's like, okay, let's just see where Bungie goes now.
But are they... Yeah, but
breakup's gone.
The thing is, Activision's... It's only been announced that they're splitting. We don't know the official date that they are split from Activision, so technically they could still be part. Activision still could be very heavily involved in Destiny. They could be contracted to do all the way up till September when Penumbrum finishes. We don't know that yet, because like you said, Activision haven't spoke out. Bungie hasn't really given a lot of details because they've only announced that they are splitting from Activision. They haven't actually confirmed when that split will take effect.
Exactly.
So, but like you said, though, silence is probably in this instance because Bungie wants that independence and they have to be able to manage this themselves. So this would be the first, in some ways, the first test for them, because they will have to show that they can communicate and show what's going on to prove that they are able to do it in some ways. You know, this is their baby. This is what's going to happen going forward. Maybe it needs to be more Bungie over Activision going forward, even though Activision is probably still a part of them up to a certain point.
Exactly. Well put.
Nice.
But yeah, and I know Pete. No, sorry.
Yes.
You know, this is a bit that you're. I know you got very excited about the other night. So, unless you're more than welcome for you to lead this one if you want, talking about auto rifles, scout rifles.
Yes. Okay, underused archetypes.
Yes.
There are so many guns that I love that are just not good anymore because of just the way the game has evolved with the perks that are available on other types of guns. Like, pulse rifles right now are amazing, but I remember in the beginning, the beginning of Destiny 2, auto rifles were fun, they were reliable, you could kill at a pretty good distance. I mean, and now it's like there's no reason to have an auto rifle. And scout rifles, the way that they're set up, they should be able to afford you a certain amount of distance from your enemy. They should be able to reliably hit critical shots, all the while keeping you in safety. That's the whole concept behind them. But they just don't have the damage to make them a viable weapon. I mean, you can get sniper rifles that have the same rate of fire, that have the same return on investment, just a smaller clip, and you can just slap up, and you're there again with another set of bullets. It's just, the archetype is so underutilized because it's just the meta of the game. So what they have decided to do is take all those weapons, see what people aren't using, and say, why aren't they using them? And then, because they're not fun. Let's make it more fun. Let's make auto rifles useful again. Let's make scout rifles useful again. Let's make it so that all that stuff you have sitting in your vault from the first season, second season is relevant again. Like Suros Regime, like Mida Multi-Tool. Mida Multi-Tool was my go-to gun in Destiny 1. Go-to. If I didn't know what to use in a situation, I would bring that.
You look in the beginning of D2, you know, origin story, Uriel's gift as auto rifles, they were very heavily dominated within the PvP and PvE scene of everything because they were fantastic auto rifles. I mean, this is what Bungie put on the top about the auto rifles. This is what they said: damage increase for rapid fire and high adaptive and high impact frames. We'll find the auto rifles are a little unforgiving for the range they ask you to occupy. Fuck me, I can't even read now. Busy day. Occupy in the world with special weapons, and as a result, we're increasing the damage to offset this higher risk. You know, this to me is good news, and you got really excited about this the other night, and it was really funny because I was like, yeah, mate, I'm right there with you because I'm an auto rifle. I prefer auto rifles. I mean, you can look at my. I think you can look at my Uriel's gift, like my Masterwork one. I think my Masterwork one's like on 600 kills within Crucible. You know, and that was only when Masterworks came into effect. You know, I think Cursor Osiris. You know, so I used them heavily within the game in year one of Destiny 2, and like you said about Scout
gift, the number,
yeah,
Valkaden. I mean, these have all just disappeared because everything else is better.
No one uses them. You know, it's just they're not relevant now because of the way that they've kind of been forgotten about, and the fact that they're doing these. You know, they're recognising it and saying, right, okay, auto rifles, so they're going to get a massive buff. They're going to get buffed. Sweet, happy days. Same with the scout rifles. You know, we're looking at lightweight and rapid fire frames are going to get increased damage as well. Sniper rifles as well, they're getting increased damages as well. And this is a bit you're probably really going to love, Pete, especially going into Crucible. Telesto is going to get buffed in PvP. It's going to be brought back down to the way that every other fusion rifle is in PvP. Some are going to argue this because they're going to turn around and say, that's ridiculous, Bungie's nerving the crap out of Telesto. Telesto, to this day, is too overpowered in PvP.
Yes. Well, absolutely.
look at it from a competitive one. I went through it and got to just before Fable, one match before, and every single match I got paired with was a Telesto user, or 2, or 3. And you can have no luck fighting against them. They could shoot from you to the floor behind you, and because of the explosion, you are dead.
You could be dead. You could have fired Telesto shots, be dead. Three of your opposition run through, and they all die.
Yeah, because they step on one little thing, it immediately kills you. And that, as a weapon, I honestly hate the sound of it, because I knew it was a one-shot kill.
It makes you cringe.
But as soon as I heard that, it's like, great, I'm dead now. It's like, it doesn't matter how good I am in PvP, all it takes is one of them to shoot me, and I'm gone.
Do you know what I used to do? Whenever I hear Telesto nowadays, I just stop. I don't even run, I just stop. There's just no point. I'm gonna die anyway, so what's the freaking point? I might as well just stand there and let them shoot me with Telesto, because...
Yeah. Now, one thing what I saw there was the sniper rifle one, what you went on about.
Yeah.
You went on about a second ago. How they're getting a buff.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm not seeing why they should, because I got a pretty good roll on my kinetic one, and I absolutely destroyed with it.
See,
I can actually tell you why, if you want. It's because
I would like a bit more in depth on it. Yeah.
They are unapproachable to casual players because of how difficult they are to use without practice.
Yeah.
I have a Whisper, and unless it's a giant stationary target, it's too much of a risk for me. I'm just not that skilled with it. So I believe, now this is merely conjecture at this point, but again, they're making it so that it's more of a utilized weapon class. It's high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
If you miss your shot, you're going to be like, and you're loading. So I believe that they're making it more approachable to casual players.
I agree with that one, because I'm a Destiny 1 player. I know Pete, you're a Destiny 1 player, and I know Ben, you weren't a Destiny 1 player. But I played to the playstyle I played in Destiny 1. I still think sniper rifles shouldn't be necessarily in a heavy slot. I think they should be in your special or your secondary reserve slot using green ammo. But that's me. I played Destiny 1. I loved having a sniper. I would go into strikes and I would use a sniper. At Destiny 2, I got Whisper for when I need to do heavier hitting targets, but I don't really use snipers anymore. There's not many good snipers in this game. I could be argued, but people could argue that. And
with snipers, as someone who uses them quite a bit now, the amount of times I've had to get the perfect roll on a sniper, the amount I just get rid of, because it's like, oh, it has this one item, I'm not going to use it, I'm going to avoid it. The only ones I seem to go for are either rapid hit frames with at least explosive payload, so that way I can tap them about 3 times and get the excess damage, or one with a drop mag. Because if I shoot 1 bullet or 2 bullets and say, okay, I can kill him in another 3, I will reload, sacrifice the 1 bullet, and immediately start firing again.
No, yeah.
Well, it's all about effectiveness. The more bullets you can get out faster, the more viable it is.
Yeah, but without explosive payload, usually I'm just like, I don't need that type of gun. I'm good. I can find a new role. So with the casual players, like you said, trying to get into it, I can understand what you mean for making it easy on them.
They probably also want us to be able to use others than just...
Someone like me, who has, a ridiculously good role on a sniper, you're going to feel kind of, outshot.
Balls.
And that's just by, perks alone. So having it where now anyone can use the sniper and manage to get a good fighting chance, it'll be fun to see.
They probably also want to see more people in Crucible playing with sniper. I used to play, no matter what it was, PvE or PvP in D1. I used to have a sniper because I think at one point it was only shotguns and snipers you could have in the secondary slot, and then eventually had pistols or sidearms or whatever you want to call it. They came in afterwards.
He's on the left hand side, the guy.
Not trees, I don't see. But I think that's a good move. I think also it's trying to also get people to use other weapons other than Whisper and the new Forge sniper. I think that's predominantly what it is about, isn't there? There's so many snipers in the game, but no one ever uses them. So by increasing it,
I have a Void one, and the only time I ever use it, honestly, is when I want to use a different kinetic cannon. That's the only time I'll ever bring that out. Otherwise, I'm using the Gambit sniper, because I got drop mag and explosive payload, and it's ridiculously powerful. Now, going on that one, as a new player, scout rifles are the bane of my existence. I played the game, I tried every single archetype, and I stayed away from them. Because it was just underpowered, I didn't like the feel of them, it was just, okay, I'll shoot my entire clip into one guy, and hopefully get the kill. Or I could use a pulse rifle and do it in half the time. Now, like it says, with the damage increases, with the ability to, get the range what you want, it seems like a good midway point for someone like me who loves pulse rifles and loves snipers. So if I get a full auto version, for example, I can just go, okay, so instead of having to use my pulse, I could switch to a scout, get the increased accuracy, and maybe get the critical hits a bit more. I'm looking forward to that, to see if there's like an entire new archetype of gun I could use.
Well, they're going to need to, because they made pulse rifles so accurate at a distance that they've made scout rifles obsolete.
Yes.
I mean,
why shoot one bullet when you can shoot four?
Yes, there's a point. Pulse rifles currently are fantastic. I love playing with pulse rifles. I've got a pulse rifle equipped right this second, and I love playing with them. I think they've got better. They weren't always this good. It's only in the recent, this season, I think since probably even in Warmind, that they were good. But I know I got one in Warmind that I liked, and I carried on using it. And I love them. I can use them. Like you said though, Pete, I think pulse rifles at the moment, they're so accurate that you kind of made scout rifles a bit redundant in a way, because they're about as hard hitting as a scout rifle is currently, which will change once they do the increase in the scout rifles.
I personally used to love the skill in scout rifles, but they've got to. I think the biggest thing to take away from this, and I hate just generalizing, is the route that they're taking with all the improvements that they're making is, what aren't people using? How do we make them feel more powerful? Which honestly is the biggest reason why I play this game, is the power fantasy. They're like, I am Emperor Palpatine. Let me shoot lightning from my fingers. I am, a ninja. Let me turn invisible and shank all my enemies. Like, they're saying, what are the things that are in the game that people aren't using? Let's make them fun again. And that's really why I'm confident that they're going to do right by all these changes.
I think, but we're having the same conversation in several months. This is not a negative comment whatsoever. I think what they're doing with continuously doing Sandbox update is a good thing. But I also think we'll be having the same conversation in about a couple of months' time, saying pulse rifles they're not as powerful as they are, blah blah blah. And it's because obviously they'll increase and the meta will constantly change, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because it means you're mixing up your loads constantly, which is fun, which is good. I enjoy. I'm not always sticking then necessarily to the same weapons all the time.
We only need 2 more modes, guys.
Done. That's it.
Okay, never mind. We need 0 more modes.
I honestly don't like Bungie.
Right, what about in this last few seconds of praising them to hating them?
4 quests I've done, legendary and powerful, for Gambit, and every single one's been clothing. I need one gun.
That's Bungie. I think that's.
I think that's your RNG. I think that's your RNG.
It's a Bungie employee stalking my profile. I want to call him out.
Don't think it's quite that, my friend.
Wow, whoever you are, I hate you.
Tinfoil hat brigade.
Yeah. Just that one Bungie employee who's bored. He's like, oh yeah, that guy needs hazard of cast. delete. That guy needs a helmet, delete, and he's out of my loot pool. I think they're doing it on purpose.
Yes, mate. They are on the Bungie have emailed me earlier today to tell me that we're gonna fuck up Covert Stubbs because he is just.
This might be premature, but let's see if I can melt him anyway.
Oh no, I had my thing hitting him as well. No.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to something a bit more fun and not getting mad at everything.
I mean, we alluded to this a little bit. I mean, they made a big statement also about Black Armory. You know, ballistic logs no longer being removed at reset. Stack limit of ballistic logs increased to 5 per character. Weapon frames carried across reset now. They have taken the information, and that's just some of them. I'm just looking at the first few lines, and they're collating this information from what's been gathered, and they're highlighting it here. I mean, this was a big one. I remember this quest step that requires players to defeat a high value target on Nessus no longer requires a player to land the final blow.
Yes, so anyone can now tap him.
And don't you get a shot in?
What I used to do, and this was thanks to Pete, I used to just change my time.
And I did exactly the same thing.
Go there by myself and wait the 10 minutes. Now, was it fun? Absolutely not. Did it guarantee me the kill? It did. But it was just like, so many people knew his spawn location, it was impossible to get near him.
Especially at launch when you're doing that quest step.
Like the moment I used to spawn him for that quest step, it not even for the quest step, just in general of going onto the planet, it would literally just go, high value target has arrived, high value target has dropped its plunder. In the split second of him spawning, it would do that. Now, hearing that I can just tap the guy and I get credit, I love that, because with the amount of people who want to be there, it kind of feels like it's taken away from everyone. Now, they should also do that when hunting wanted. I'm not sure if it has, because every time I've tried killing the Saturn Survivor for Spider, it's never gave me the bounty completion because someone else has shot him, or someone else has taken the final blow.
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, they've taken all the information that's really rubbed people the wrong way for Black Armory, and they've highlighted that issue and what they're doing to fix it and what's going to happen. And it's not a short list; it is a long list of things, and they're acknowledging it. And you know what? Brilliant. If they've had 2 weeks off, like a lot of people have for Christmas Christmas leave and stuff like that, and they've come back, and it looks like they're hitting the ground running, and they're doing the updates. And there's a lot of good updates there as well. So
now, one thing here which I do like, I mean, I don't know if I fully need them because I haven't checked, is the one at the very bottom of their list. Forge rooms will be rewarded when completing a forge. So you don't have to wait for a random bounty saying go to Gofanon, or a random bounty saying kill with a Gofanon weapon, or like one from the Black Armory loot pool.
Yeah.
Now if I just go to Gofanon and play it a few times, I could get the emblem and be like, right, there's another thing off my checklist, I guess you could call it.
Well, exactly.
That one's quite good. And with like the modulus report and ballistic logs, I used to finish the forges quite a bit. Pete has as well. And you'd get to the point where you just finished with your modulus reports. Here they can now jump to the postmaster, means that I can go buy something off of Ada and go back and pick up a couple of my modulus reports to keep stocks up.
Yeah,
that's more fun instead of
great.
Yeah,
that is an absolutely great way to listen to the feedback, understand what we were using it for, and then facilitating us having more fun and enjoying the grind more. That is a legit feedback response, positive response.
Well, exactly.
That is why I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Now, one thing I would like, and I get why they might not want to do it, is to allow you to just carry multiple frames. Not the augmented ones, the actual frames. So, if you wanted to do the pulse rifle and the sword, I would love it if they let you do both at the same time, because it will give me more reason to try and, I guess not complete it faster, but it will give me more reason to fight differently when in the middle of something.
Yeah.
Because it'd be, okay, I can use a pulse rifle here, but I've still got my sword frame. I can run over and use my sword for a little bit and have a bit of fun. And then I could go to the one forge and play it twice. Instead of, okay, I'm using my pulse rifle here, now I have to go back to Ada and go through a cutscene of getting the frame. Then I have to jump out of Ada to go to another cutscene, well, another loading screen. Then I have to jump into another loading screen to start the forge, jump out of a loading screen, go back to Ada, pick up a new one. Because if you honestly think about it, doing one frame, say you start on a tower, doing one frame, you have one loading screen to go out to the planet where you need. You have another loading screen going back to Ada. You then have another loading screen going back to the forge that you want. So we're already at 3. A loading screen to get into the forge, there's 4. A loading screen to go back to Ada, there's 5. It takes you 5 different loading screens at whatever time to just get one frame started. And that's if you're doing a normal frame on the planet you want. If you're like me and you change planets to get different things, you're going through at least 6 or 7 loading screens. Now I'd like it a bit more streamlined where I could carry 2 frames at once. So I could just easily go, okay, I've got my sword here. If I go to Titan to do the flashpoint, I could just bring the sword along. And if it gets a bit too bad for my sword, I could just pull out my pulse rifle and do that one. But it's not that. I'm going through a lot of loading screens just to get 2 items. And if I don't get those 2 items that I want, it's right back again.
What's up, you beautiful people, you?
Hello again.
Hi, Robert.
How you doing, Petey?
We're going right through the exact thing again. Which is upsetting to me, personally.
So the snow has begun here.
Yeah.
Nice. I have snow on my mountain. Like right behind me.
Oh, nice.
I don't own the mountain. Where I live, there's like a big mountain that you can climb up. I wish I owned a mountain, that'd be great. But it's covered in snow.
That would be great. But at least you can go on the mountain.
Yep. I can see, well, I guess the guy who might own it, his sheep roam on there all the time. Now, anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've had a pretty good go.
Yeah.
Well,
you
I would.
You don't have to stop on my count. That's okay.
No.
I'm just boxing around. So.
Now, what I would say, as a bit of a thing, is if anyone can get on tomorrow, we could continue it and get through a few more of the points, because there is a few more bits to talk there. No, I don't mean like that. There's still a few more points for the Bungie updates, I guess you could call them. Now, we could always come back tomorrow with a more fresh mind, more different thing, and talk through that. Oh no, it's about the clubhouse renovations and the reporting for duty stuff. Now, I haven't read that bit yet. I haven't got to that. I didn't realise how much more there actually was. So we could always just... I'm trying to be, I'm trying to say I would like to actually research it a bit, and then we could continue it tomorrow. to put it bluntly. Yeah, we could do. Yeah. Cover stops.
I'm Excess Energy, and I'm very excited to be doing this with you guys.
Yeah, it's been fun. Oh no.
I know you're very excited for that.
I will be joining you on that. That looks very fun. Sounds great. Bye.